Yep, we're back at it again with another Saints Row video. Been a while, and today, because we didn't see the game be revealed at the Game Awards on December 10th, I figured I would just go through all the information we currently have about the game, because personally, if you ask me, and if you go watch Aaron Prod's video, there is a high chance of the game being released in 2021, or at the very least an announcement. So I want to go over all the big information we have so far considering Saints Row 5, and keep in mind that it might not be called Saints Row 5 because on Twitter, and this counts as the first bit of information, on Twitter, Volition and the Saints Row account are constantly answering fans. I'm sure you guys, they probably answered you guys a couple times. When they ask about Saints Row 5, Volition always answers with, "We don't have any news to share yet about the next Saints Row game." So they're not even naming it. Now that could be for a completely different reason, but it could also be because they're not calling it Saints Row 5. So that is a good sign, and you guys have let me know about that Volition is constantly answering fans saying, yes, it's still in development, but we don't have anything to share about it just yet. And speaking of development, we know that the game has been developing, according to Volition, since Agents of Mayhem was released August 2017, which puts it at about 3.5 years of development, if we are to believe that. Which I'm starting to have my doubts, but it is a good sign because keep in mind of the regular development time for a Saints Row game. Like, I'll give you an example, right? From Saints Row 3 to 4. Saints Row 3 came out in 2011, Saints Row 4 in 2013. That's a 2-year development time. Saints Row 1, 2006, Saints Row 2, 2008. That's usually their sweet spot, but they are tasked with doing a revival here, right? They have to revive the series, basically. So I think it's warranted they take more time. And I mean, after the Cyberpunk stuff, don't you guys want them to take as much time as they need to make sure this game is as good as it can be, especially on next gen with the potential this thing has? And yes, I know there's the GTA 6 factor. You want to try and beat GTA to the punch. I've been saying this for 6 months now. But I think that it's more important for them to take their time with the game. And then we also saw in September that Volition was looking for somebody to fill a position considering a video editor at the company. So they are still looking for people to help them with Saints Row 5's development, and they're still looking for positions, which is why a few people are skeptical that they did indeed start developing this thing in August 2017. But to that point, that it was starting to develop in August of 2017, Mr. Saints Godzilla, I would say behind Flippy, the most popular Saints Row YouTuber ever. And right now, because Flippy's not making videos, he is the king of Saints Row right now. He did get to play the game in August of 2019, I believe it was. I know it was 2019. And of course, he's under NDA, so he can't reveal any information concerning the game. But he did mention that we're going to be happy and we're going to love it. And if you know Mr. Saints, you know that he is an old school fan. He loves Saints Row 2 especially. That's his favorite. I know you guys in the comments, you've been telling me about this, talk about this for months now. And I mean, I don't know how much stock I can exactly put into it, and I don't want to put too much pressure on this guy because, like I said, he's under NDA. It's not good to like pressure him for information or anything like that, or bring this up even too much, right? But that is an interesting little tidbit, and it's worth mentioning here because it could end up being big for Saints Row 5 news. Next up, we got the leak. This one was heartbreaking. In September, you guys saw me cover it the day I heard about it from you guys, which, by the way, if you guys hear or see any Saints Row news, leave it down for me in the comments. I will see it, and thank you guys for that. But we got a leak in September that was confirmed to be fake by someone at Volition, and it is really sad. It was really sad because all the stuff we were hearing was pretty good, except the part where we would be fighting against the Saints, which you guys really didn't like, which I understand why. You guys have really grown attached to these characters, but there was a leak that came out, and it honestly sounded pretty legit until it got debunked. I wouldn't say I completely believed it, but I think I bit on the bait a little bit for sure, and I'm just being honest with you guys. I did bite a little bit, maybe because I was looking so much for Saints Row news. I was so hungry for it. So yeah, I mean, it was fake, and I guess we'll see. A lot of people have been saying, oh, well, maybe they just want it to be fake so they can keep it under wraps, keep it hidden until they reveal it, and then we'll see that the leak was true. And I believe another game did that, and you guys have been bringing that up, right? But I don't know. I honestly have no idea. They've been completely silent on this front. But yeah, the leak was a sad moment in Saints Row 5 hype history. Up next, we have the backtrack. Now, you guys have heard about this if you've been following this channel. In 2019, they did mention that Saints Row is very close to our hearts, and we will have more to show you next year, which would have been 2020, and I've been preaching this all year. But then on Twitter, a week before the Game Awards, they said, no, that was our publisher, and we have never really promised about showing anything this year. And lo and behold, we didn't get anything in 2020, and I know there's still, maybe a week left for them to show something. I wouldn't keep my hopes up for it. I really do think 2021 is going to be the year for Saints Row 5. But yes, it was disappointing, but again, dude, after Cyberpunk, I am cool with just waiting and just sitting here and waiting patiently for them to make the game as good as it can be before releasing it. The only thing I will say, though, is Volition's marketing is kind of spotty. The only game that I think that they did good marketing for was Saints Row the Third, all right? I mean, I didn't even know what Saints Row was until Saints Row the Third. And of course, they've got some really cool stuff like that shot at GTA 4 for Saints Row 2. Do you really want to go bowling? You remember that one? That was good, but Saints Row the Third had excellent marketing, and every other one, personally, if you ask me, I don't think had very good marketing, even though they had like a dubstep gun for Saints Row 4. I do think they have to step it up a little bit. They got to get the hype going, and as bad as Cyberpunk was, you can really take some pointers from them as far as marketing, because the hype was crazy high, and some people might say that's a bad thing, but I mean, ask the people at the company, like getting people excited for your game is never a bad thing. So you want to get as many people excited for this thing as possible. So I really do think at the very least, they've got to show us a trailer, a screenshot, a snippet, a piece of news, a reveal date, anything here in the next few months to really get the hype going. Because if they have been working on it for almost 4 years now, it's time, man. You don't have to show us a release date or anything, but just show us a little taste of what you've been working on, and you can just take your time after that, just so the hype train can get moving a little bit. Because right now we just have these kind of ambiguous news type stuff, And of course, lastly, we have the possible delay that might have happened right around when Saints Row the Third Remastered was coming out. Now, the Embracer Group, which is the parent company of Deep Silver Volition, came out and said it was planning to release 2 AAA games this fiscal year, not regular year, but fiscal year, which ends in March 2021. However, those 2 titles were delayed, and the pair of games are now scheduled to release in the next fiscal year, which is April 1st, 2021, until March 31st, 2022. So as you can see, like, it doesn't work like regular years, right? So this, I think, is the sweet spot now for Saints Row 5, and I do believe that one of these 2 games is Saints Row 5, and the other one is maybe Dead Island 2, right? So I really do think that this is the window for Saints Row 5, and it would be a huge missed opportunity if they didn't release it within this window, because this is when maybe the loser scalpers are going to stop being able to sell their consoles for $54,000, and people are going to be getting their hands on PS5s and Series X, regular everyday people, and they're going to be saying, oh, I want a GTA-like game to play, but I don't want to play GTA 5 on PS5 again. And then that's when Saints Row 5 swoops in and takes all the sales, especially since Cyberpunk right now can be considered a disappointment by a lot of people. Not everybody, including myself, I love it, but a disappointment by a lot of people's standards. I really do think Saints Row can swoop in and be the hero, and nothing would make me happier than to see that. Alright guys, that's it for this one. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of all this news and this whole situation? When do you think Saints Row 5 is going to be released, or even just announced? Not released, announced. Okay, that's what I want to know from you guys. And yeah, I mean, tell me in the comments. I used to do this more, but what do you want to see in Saints Row 5? Okay, mostly location. That's the most important thing. I know 90% of you guys are going to say Stillwater, but let's say Stillwater is dead, like there was a bomb or something blew up Stillwater. Where would you want to go? Okay, let me know a new location, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, peace out.